Hey boys and girls, welcome back to another edition of Think Different Television. Now we're going to do reflections on a coordinate plane. So if you have graph paper, this is great. If not, you can just approximate and that is going to be okay in the end. So example 2 is what we're going to do now. Quadrilateral DEFG has vertices D, E, F, G. Find the image under reflection in the x-axis. Okay, so we're not reflecting over some random line like we did before. Now we're going to reflect across an axis. No problemo. Check it out. So here's mine. Reflections over x and y axis. That's what this video is about. So I wrote down the definition and I wrote down the points. Writing down the points is very important. So let's now graph the points. So if you don't have graph paper, that's okay. If you have graph paper, it's going to help. So my -2, 3. We're going to graph D. -2, 3. So D, -2, 3. Make sure you write down the letter and the coordinate point. That's going to help you. E is 4, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Do this with me. F is 3, -2. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. F is 3, -2. And then G is 1, 2, 3, -3, 1. So here is G. So, So there's a quadrilateral like that. Quadrilateral means that has 4 sides, 4 angles. Now we're going to reflect it across the x-axis. Which one's the x-axis? Oh, I forget. So here's x and here's y. So I'm reflecting it across this x-axis. So highlight this because that's what you're reflecting across. So I like to trace it a little bit. You can get your highlighter if you want. Whatever helps. Now, I forgot to put G as -3. 1, my bad. All right, so let's start with any point. Let's start with D. So I'm reflecting across this axis, so I'm going the same distance to the line and then away from the line. So it's 1, 2, 3. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3. Bam. So D prime, is going to be -2 on the x, -3. Let's look at a pattern. Let's look at this and this. We're trying to see a pattern because sometimes we won't have a picture. Let's try G because it's right here. So it's -3, 1, so it's 1 away from the x-axis, and now it's 1 more. So G prime is -3, -1. What's going on here? Do you see a pattern between D and D prime and G and G prime? How do you get from one to the other? Let's see. All right, let's do F. So F is 2 up to the x-axis, so it's going to be 2 more up, 2 more away, you could say. So F prime is 3, 2. Okay. E, 1, 2, 3, 4 to the x-axis. 1, 2, 3, 4 away. There we go. So E prime is 4, -4. Cool. Connect the dots of the primes of the image. La, 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 la. There you go. Does that look like the picture in the example? Yeah, it does. Cool. So if you want to, you can. There you go. So this is your image right here with the primes, with the orange. This is the pre-image. So is there a pattern? Yeah. So you see E and E prime. What's the difference? You see F and F prime, what's the difference? Does the X change? No. But the Y changes signs. So, reflection across the X-axis, the Y changes signs. That's what I just noticed. We're always looking for patterns. Math is all about patterns. So if you want to do a little mathematic rule, that's how it looks. So you just take the point and then you make the y coordinate, you multiply by -1. So this just means the opposite. So it doesn't mean it has to be negative. It just means the opposite, because a negative times a negative, because negative b here, negative times negative is a positive. There we go. Cool. So let's do this one. Yeah. So triangle DEF with D is -2, -1, E is -1, 3, and F is 3, -1. Find the image under reflection of the x-axis. So same problem. Pause the video and do the whole thing. Ready, set, go. Let's see if you did it. First thing we have to do, we got a graphy graph. So D is -2, -1. And we have E is -1, 3, 1, 2, 3. And F is 1, 2, 3, -1. Here's your triangle. It's like this. Okay. So now E, where I got from up here, you just have to change the sign of the Y if I want to. So I know it's -1, -3. 1, 2, 3. Which is E prime. And then D, I'm just changing the sign of the Y, so that's -2, +1. And see, it's still one away, then one away. So it's still fulfilling what's going on we talked about before. Now it's just doing it a little bit quicker. So F, what's F going to be? Yeah, it's going to be 3, +1. Sorry, F prime is going to be 3, +1. You're changing the sign of the Y. There you go. And you have, there's your reflection. There's your image. Looks like so. There you go. Got it. Nice job. Okay, let's try another one right here. A little bit different now. A, B, C, D with A is 1, 4, B is 3, 2, C is 2, -2, and D is -3, 1. Sorry, forgot the comma. Reflect over the y-axis. Write that down, pause the video. All right, cool, let's do it. First, we have to graph the points. 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. So A is 1, 4. B is 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. C is 2, -2. Sorry. If I'm going too fast, just pause the video, do it on your own. And D is -3, 1. So you have this quadrilateral, it looks like this. Looking good. All right, so this is deep. It is -3, 1. I always forget one little part, then I look at it, and then I can fix it. So I need to reflect this across the y-axis. This is the x, this is the y. So I stop and think, okay, so now I'm going to highlight this axis. This is the line I'm going to reflect across. So it's going to go, this part's going to go here, and this part's going to go there. That's what I'm thinking right now. So A, if it's 1 away from the line of reflection, it's going to be 1 more. So A prime is -1, 4. Woo! You see a pattern yet? I might. Let's try B. So B is 1, 2, 3 to the line, and then 1, 2, 3 right here. So B prime is -3, 2. Cool. Let's do D. D is 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So D. Oh, sorry. D is right here. My bad. So 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So D prime is +3, 1. +3, 1. Cool. This is C right here. So C is 1, 2, 1, 2. C prime is -2, -2. All right. Let's connect the dots. Highlight it so I can see the difference. Sometimes it gets a little crazy, a little crowded. There you go. And therefore it is reflected. So this part and this part, this part and this part. Cool, looks good. Does anybody see the pattern now? So D prime, sorry, D goes to -3, 1, and goes to 3, 1. C is 2, -2, then it goes from -2, -2. What's changing? Do you see it? Yeah, the x coordinate now is the opposite for the image. Cool. So, reflecting, write this down, across the y-axis, change the x value. So I'm changing the x value to its opposite. So it looks like this. A, B goes from, negative A to B. So I'm changing the sign of A. Looks like that. So changing the sign of the x. So reflecting across the y-axis, the x-axis change, and then before reflecting across the x-axis, the y coordinate changes. Cool, try this one now. Ready, set, go. All right, real quick. See if you got the whole thing. D, 0, -3. E is 1, 1, 2, 3. And F is 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And G is 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. Cool, so it looks like this. There's your trapezoid. Trapezoid has two sets of parallel sides. Looks like that. And then so you're going to reflect. Just change this. So E is this. So E prime is going to be here. So it goes from +1 to -1. And the Y stays the same. So this is E prime. F is 3, 3. So I'm changing the sign of the X because I'm reflecting across the Y. So that's going to be 1, 2, 3 right here. So F prime is -3, 3. Let me clear this up a little bit so you can see it. Here is E, which is -1, 3. And then F is -3, 3. D is already on the axis, so I'm not moving that at all. So D prime is the same point. F, because if you put negative here, 0 isn't positive or negative, you can't make the X negative. So if F is 4, -3, you change the X, the X is going to be -4, -3. You find the opposite of the X coordinates. This is F prime. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, it checks out. There you go. And you notice that the images are congruent. Image and pre-image are congruent. It's the same size, same shape, so I know that I did it correctly. There you go. Cool. Nice job, everybody. Good work. Next video gets a little more challenging.